Okay, folks, a few people have been asking about the stands and what way I make them up. So, your stands should be at least 5'6" long, right? So, and then I use my bridging pieces here are the same size as the floor of your hive. The reason for this is that it gives you an extension of the floor down underneath here, and you have like a bit of dead space, so it means like you have a long deep floor and you don't get as much draft off it. So she should sit exactly like that, but I like to have it just slightly short, that your hive is just protruding slightly all the way around, so any water that's running down will drip down off the edges, right? So also I like to have a little piece here on the end, so that when I take out my frames, that I'm able to put them, the first two, I'm able to put them like this here, and this one actually takes 3 frames on it. So that's your first frames that it takes out, and you have a handy there that you're not putting them on the ground. Now, the you're not making it for 3 hives. This center part here is to save your back, so that when you take off your super, that you're able to take your super and put it in here in the center. You want to have that gap there about a minimum of 24 inches, so you have space for your hands either side to put the supers on without trying to crush your hands getting them in and out, right? So your legs should be fairly straight, just a tight little bit of a display, because if it's splayed too much, and this is your support here for your legs, right? I like to use, this one is probably a little bit light, I like to use 4x2s, and it's a little bit stronger on them, especially when you have all the weight on the hives, right? So that's an ideal one, about 5'6" minimum, and that gives you your 2 foot space in the center. This is an old one that I have to rectify. You can just see there's way too much splay on the legs, and it's putting way too much pressure on this part here, and also on your joint here as well, and you can have it collapse out from underneath you, like, you know. That one is actually too long. It's probably one of my old models. It's probably about 20 years of age, and I just need to remodify it, but I really only use it for nukes. But the most ideal of the stands is this one here, 2 9-inch cavity blocks. I just then have the standard stud rail fencing that goes on the top of it. You can see the lovely gap in the middle there that gives me loads of space for putting my supers on in while you're doing your inspections and that, like, you know. And then if over the winter time, it actually has space to overwinter another hive, but I never have 3 hives in a stand, and because you'll get too much drifting. But I will probably put, if I'm stuck for space, a nuke in between. Ideally, this here, if you can actually see, should be about to the top of your kneecap. So your hive, the top of the hive stand should be about to the top of your kneecap, and that just saves your back and bending over. So depending on your height, but 9-inch cavities like that gives me perfect working height. The most important thing is just to give yourself that little bit of a gap in the middle, in order when you take your supers off, then you can just put it down there and you're not breaking your back. But certainly those little extensions on the end are a gift for putting your frames on, that you're taking the first 2 frames out, and you just put them there on the side, and you're not having to put frames down on the ground and losing bees or young bees crawling around the grass. So that's it. That's a bad design, that one. That's perfect, probably a little bit short in the center, but the most ideal, certainly for me, is the 2 9-inch cavities. I have them there just on slabs, so it just means that I never have a problem with weeds or anything growing around the hive. So I hope that's of some help to you.